This video is being made to provide some instructions for the cohort assessment trainers and the area deans on reviewing the instructional program reviews that are in elumen for this year. First, we'll take a look at how to get to the elumen website, and you can click on the faculty and staff link at the top of the Merced College webpage, and then scroll down on the side and you will see a little link for getting into elumen. And don't use the public search because that won't take you to the one where you have to enter your password. And so if we click on that little link, it will take us over to elumen, and you can go ahead and log in using your normal Merced College login. Now that you're in elumen, you want to make sure that you check your role, and again you can choose from the drop down menu here and set it to either CAT or your area dean role there. And so in this case I've set it to the CAT so I can take a look, and you can also go into this menu over here and go specifically to the discipline that you want to find their program review for. And that should give you a list of the programs that you can choose from, and they'll be highlighted in a blue color. And here we're looking at the geology program review. And if you need to, you can actually click over here on this strategic initiative report, and it can generate a PDF document of the program review, and you can save that if you need to for later on, or you could print out from there. I will point out that sometimes the list of programs on that menu is a little bit off for what you have access to. And so if there's a problem, please let me know, and we'll see whether or not we can reassign you and give you access to these documents. Another helpful feature that is built into elumen is the ability to navigate anywhere within the document using this menu, which will float on top, and you can go to the different sections within it. And what we really want to take a look at with this video is reviewing the first 4 sections that we see highlighted here, and then I'll discuss a little bit about the feedback and approval section at the end. So when you go in here, go ahead and read through each of the sections, and what you want to do is click on the review button right here, and you can go ahead and put your text into here, and you can click on reject, and it'll highlight it with red so the authors will know that that section did not meet the approval. And you can also click on approve right here, and you can see it changes the color and it's highlighted in green there. Once you're done with this for each of the sections, you do want to click on save or click on cancel, and you can see when you click on cancel it gets rid of that stuff that you put in there, but notice it does still save that text that was in there. So you do want to use those buttons a little bit judiciously when you're going through the different sections on the report. And again, you can go and just navigate to the next section right here, and it takes us to this where you can see there's another button there where you can go through and do your rejection or your approval for all these things. And it's important to remember to click on save at the end of this process here so that you can save your comments if you need to. There is one thing to keep in mind with the assessment summary section. When faculty are clicking on the generate data button, this is basically generating the data using assessment results for courses that have actually been entered into elumen. So for a lot of programs out there, when they click on the generate data, they are getting a lot of 0 values here, and the reason for that is they have not entered their assessment into elumen. And so when we look at the table that is being generated by that, you can see in this case it's got a bunch of zeros there. So the faculty has the option, if they have their data from previous years that has not been in elumen, then they can go ahead and go through that process and generate their own data, and then come in here and basically talk about what's going on. And these are similar questions to what we've had in the past on our InfoPath program reviews. To basically describe what's going on with the assessment, summarize those results, and then do a little analysis or an interpretation of those results, and then use that process for the last part of the document, which is going to be dealing with their goals and their resource allocation. So again, we can go through this process and go down here to the end where the planning summary is, and there's really two sections to this part where faculty were going to be entering any goals that they had and the steps related to that. And again, we want to see hopefully that these goals are based on those assessment results and other discussions they've had with faculty to come up with some short-term and potentially some long-term plans on how they can work on improving their program and increasing student success. And based on those goals from the assessments, faculty were tasked with coming up with their resource allocation here. And so you can see in this case, no resources were needed for this program review. And so we really just want to go through and check to verify some of the different features built into this. To help with this process of looking at the program reviews, I have created a rubric that we can use for each of these sections to basically give you some guidance on some salient points that we're looking for. And you can see we've graded this to show progress that is taking place when people are going into this, going from that initial feature all the way up through developed and highly developed. And we hope that the use of this will allow us to really start to provide some feedback for the faculty to let them know where we're looking for areas for improvement on the program review. And if you do have any comments or some additional things that you would like added to this rubric, please let me know, and we can incorporate those as needed. All right, the very last thing that we want to take a look at here is our feedback and approval section that is at the end here. And there are two sections, one for the CAT. And if you want to, you can include a variety of different comments within the individual sections. And if you need to, you can go ahead and add some more comments on this. I'm not sure why we've got multiple boxes here. Probably something that happened when I created this form and got this extra box here. But really what we would like to do is use this last section for record keeping. And if you fill out this thing, and again you can see I would like to see names and the date that the final version of this report was approved here. If you fill out that section right there and then come down to the very end and click on the Publish button, what we can do is use elumen to run a report and check and see which of the program reviews have gotten to this stage right here. So we can basically use this to measure how many CATs have gone through the approval process and take that report and provide some feedback to the Office of Instruction and also to our Program Review and Outcomes Assessment Committee, or PROAC. So please remember to go ahead and click on that button after you finish with the process here. For the deans, there's a little bit more work that we are asking for you, but this is something that has been done in the past where the deans basically wrote up their summary and they included some of these kinds of things that we were looking for strengths and successes in the program, and also any areas of concern that you might have. And so we've incorporated that process into the dean's feedback section right here. And similar to the CATs, we have this last little section here with the signature and approval, so that we can go ahead and run the reports and not only see how many of the program reviews have gotten to the CAT review stage, but we can also run it to the dean's approval stage. One of the problems with elumen and the workflow for our strategic initiatives and the program reviews is it does not automatically notify people when you've gone to the next stage, because there really isn't a workflow built into this process. So I will be running these reports and sending out emails, but also if you can, when you finish through the process, please send me an email to let me know so I can go ahead and include that when I am generating my list to see where we are in the different areas that are out there. So hopefully this process has helped out, and hopefully you'll be able to have some success at looking at the program reviews. And again, if you do have any problems with being able to access the documents or any other questions that you might have, you can contact me, Edward Montefiore, or you can contact Gabriela Garcia, and Valerie Albano can also help out if you just need some quick changes on the settings for some of these. We all have access to the user list and can change the roles for people around there. One thing that might potentially be needed is for CATs and the area deans to be reset as area coordinators, because it looks like they have access to some tools that aren't necessarily available for the different roles that we've generated in there. So we'll take a look at that and deal with it on a case-by-case basis. Thank you.